Hello, welcome to Feng Shui and Prosper.com. My name is Safrina Kadri, and the topic that I want to cover today is titled Feng Shui and Real Estate. Now, here in Toronto, Canada, where I am broadcasting from, the real estate industry is starting to pick up again. Usually when springtime rolls around, the buyers are sprucing up their homes to get ready for sale, and the sellers are sprucing up their homes for the sale, and then the buyers are starting to, come out now that the weather is nicer to go to open houses and things like that. So I thought this is a good time for me to revisit why Feng Shui is important when you're trying to buy or sell real estate. And because of the activity that's starting to pick up, I'm starting to actually get a few more calls now from real estate agents as well as buyers and sellers themselves wanting to get a little bit more clarification about a space before they put in an offer, or if they're having issues selling a house, then they want to clarify if maybe Feng Shui is the issue, and if there's something that Feng Shui can address and help them get a few offers. So I can't stress enough how important it is to make sure that whatever space that you're wanting to buy has a good Feng Shui foundation. Now, it's going to be a little unrealistic to want to find a house that's 100% Feng Shui perfect, because that will be 99.9% impossible. Now, why do I say that? Because there's a few things that would come to mind. One, Feng Shui is all about energy. It's all about qi. And science tells us that qi is constantly moving. So a house can be prosperous and auspicious for the current period 8 that we're in, which ends in 2024. But if this is a house that you're wanting to stay for generations onwards, there is a chance that for period 9, when it starts rolling around, it's not going to be as auspicious. Even if we don't look at the 20-year period, the energies, the annual energies can affect a space very differently. A house can be very lucky this year, but may be a little bit more afflicted next year. So again, if you're looking for a house, the main things to watch out for is, what do you see at the front door? Where is the kitchen located, and what's the energy in the kitchen? Where is the location of the bedrooms, and what's the energy in the bedrooms? And if you go a little bit deeper, you need to look at the structure of the house as well, because sometimes the energy for a bedroom, for instance, can be really good, but if it has bulkheads all over the place and you have no choice but to place your bed under a bulkhead, especially a deep bulkhead, then even though the energy in that bedroom is good, unless you can get rid of that bulkhead somehow, that bulkhead is actually a structural obstacle for you to harness that auspicious qi. So there definitely are a lot of factors that need to be considered when you buy a space. Another thing that needs to be taken into consideration is who actually will be living in that space. It's definitely easier if it's just a single person or a couple that's looking for a space. Then you need to find a home that supports, both of them preferably, or at the very least the main breadwinner. But if you are moving a family into a house, the same house may not energetically support everyone in the same level. It could be a great house for the father, but not so great for the children, you know, their studies or maybe their health being afflicted. Or it can be a really good house to make money, but not so great of a house in terms of fostering healthy and passionate relationships for the couple. So obviously it's hard for me to cover all the nitty-gritty details about what you need to watch out for in a home, but my main message for this video is that if you truly believe in the power of the energy that you surround yourself in and how it can boost up your chances for success, as well as how it can also block your chances of success, then before you put in an offer, it is absolutely, absolutely imperative to get the Feng Shui looked at. If you're not yourself trained, I would actually suggest Flying Star Feng Shui if you want to, in terms of all the schools of Feng Shui out there to help you find a good supportive home, Flying Star Feng Shui would be good, because that way you can actually forecast for the next year, 2 years, 10 years, how that house is going to be, what kind of energy that house will be given as the time changes, right? So that's a really good school of Feng Shui to use when you're looking for a house. If you're not properly trained, it is actually worth the investment to bring in a consultant to look into that. Again, I am obviously biased. I would highly recommend a classically trained Feng Shui practitioner. You know, the school that I graduated in, we look at the full picture, the birth dates, the structures, the internal and external environment. What's the compass reading for the house? Who's living in that house or apartment or condo, right? So there is definitely a lot of information that needs to be gathered, a lot of information that needs to be examined and even cross-referenced before we can come to a conclusion whether or not you should buy or just, you know, move on to the next house. I'd like to take this moment to share a situation that I encountered with a client of mine, and that is a not a warning, but it's a story of how important it is to have the consultation done before you make a decision to move. So this would be about 2, maybe almost 3 years ago now, when I did a consultation for a couple. They had a condo down in downtown Toronto, and the reason why she came to me was because her husband is feeling a little bit stuck in terms of his career, in terms of, you know, career progression, and not being happy with the management that he works under. So when I went in there and I took a look at the master bedroom and I did the Flying Star Feng Shui audit, I took a look and I took her aside and I asked her, now I know your husband is having issues with career, but how is your marriage ever since you moved in here? And she had to, you know, she had to confide and said, you know what? Ever since they were in that condo, the marriage has been a little bit rocky. It's been very stressful. And I told her it's because the strongest affliction actually was in the master bedroom. Now, in terms of affliction, you can reduce the affliction, but if it is a strong one, you can't necessarily get rid of it altogether. So there is still a little bit of a lingering effect in terms of that affliction. So the wife was obviously a little bit more than a little bit concerned, and I didn't hear back from her until a few months later, and she emailed and said, hey, you know what, we moved into another house, and decided to rent out the other condo. And she wanted to bring me in to do the consultation for the new home. And when I took a look at the house, the new place, unfortunately for them, it had the very same affliction in the master bedroom that they were initially trying to run away from. So they made all that big move to a new place only to be stuck with the same energy. Now, some people may call this karma. Some people may call this just plain bad luck. But if the due diligence, the Feng Shui audit or the energetic audit was done prior to them making that big move, it would have saved them a lot of hassle. And I know some Feng Shui practitioners are not very affordable. So my suggestion would be work with someone that's good. Start looking around. Maybe narrow it down to 2 or 3 that you really, really like. Hopefully they're all at the same time frame that you're looking. And then have the consultant go through those main ones. And then you can make a decision from there, right? So that would be the advice that I would give if you're either wanting to rent, and especially if you're wanting to buy your own place. And this is not just for a place to live in, but this is actually also a very, very important activity, a very important step to take if you're wanting to either rent or buy a retail or a commercial space. That's actually an even more of an investment because, or an even smarter investment, because you obviously want to make sure that your business flourishes, right? You want to make sure that you move into a space where the office is auspicious, where the main production areas are also auspicious, that structurally there's nothing that's going to be blocking wealth, prosperous energy from coming in. Now I just want to quickly move on to how Feng Shui and real estate can help you if you're actually trying to sell your home or to sell your space. The same guideline in terms of buying is the same. So remember when I said when you're buying, you want to make sure that your front door, your kitchen, and your bedrooms are auspicious. If you're trying to sell, you need, and especially if it's not selling, you need to look at these 3 main areas and figure out if there are any afflictions there. Either permanent afflictions or annual afflictions, even monthly affliction. And I would actually do a date selection to make sure that the date that you put the house on the market, when you put it on listing, is actually an auspicious date as well. Preferably also the dates as well as times that you do your open houses. Now I know a lot of people think this is kind of like cramping their style in terms of wanting to sell the place, but if given the option, would you rather swim against the current, or would you rather paddle and go with the flow, right? So Feng Shui and real estate can really work hand in hand with regards to that. And I've worked with more than a couple of locations where they've been on the market for 6 months, 9 months. And the moment the audit is done, you can see very clearly why it's not moving. And done properly, and from my experience, done properly, the house can start getting offers within a couple of weeks and actually be taken off the market. So when you feel that your house has ticked a lot of the other boxes, right? Like maybe great neighborhood, great schools, you know, safe and all that. It ticks all those boxes, but somehow you're not still getting the offer. This would be the time for you to take a look at the feng shui for the home, because there is no other external reason why the house is still on the market. Well, obviously, of course, if you're overpriced, then that would be an issue. But if you're a good price and you tick all the other boxes and you're not getting offers, or offers keep falling through, then the energetic blueprint of the house needs to be examined. And that's a really good investment to do in order for you to cut the time in having your house, you know, stuck on the market. So that's pretty much all I wanted to share with you for this video. I wanted to keep it a little bit shorter than the other videos that I've done before. But if you have any comments or feedback with regard to how feng shui and real estate relate, and if you have any questions relating around this issue, feel free to just put down your comment in below the video here, and I'll get back to you. And if there are any other topics that you'd like me to cover, feel free to connect with me. My email address is below. My website is fengshuiandprosper.com. I would love to hear what you want to learn more of. I'm here to break the myths. I'm here to also make things a little bit clearer in terms of what's important in feng shui, what is actual feng shui, and what is fast food feng shui that you can really just forget about. So again, feng shui plays a big role in real estate. It doesn't matter if you're buying or renting or leasing or selling. As long as it's a space that you're going to be spending a lot of time in, feng shui audit is a good investment, either done by yourself or done by someone properly trained. And if it's an asset that you want to let go of but seems to still keep hanging on, then that's also a great time for you to figure out what's going on energetically in that space, and if there's anything that's blocking that sale. Again, if you feel free to connect with me. My email is safrina@fengshuiandprosper.com, and I'd love to hear from you. And have a great day, everyone.